Hello, it's Ishita. Welcome to a video that I've been trying to record for the last 15 minutes. The right angle, the right light. I am in a gorgeous apartment right now with a million windows, and I thought that would be the best thing ever to record a video, except for the fact that everywhere I placed the little camera and computer, it was like psh, shadow, psh, light, psh. So finally, I just said, F it, and I'm recording this now after many different trials and angles. So here we go. Why I wanted to record this video today is because I haven't been able to stop thinking about this one particular topic, which comes up a lot for me all the time, which is soul suppression. Sounds heavy. It's not. Soul suppression is those moments where you want to say something or you feel like you should speak out, or someone has said something where it doesn't really jive with your inner core, or whatever one could call it, your soul, your inner core. This never goes away, by the way. I put it back, it comes back. It's like a boomerang. So, soul suppression. I will give you some examples. There's moments in my own life where someone says something to me where I don't really agree with it. It just does not jive with my inner core. So someone asks me to do something that doesn't feel aligned with what I want for myself or my own life. Someone says something like about a statistic or something that doesn't really feel right. I'll give you one example of that in particular. My parents and I went to the movies last night, and we saw this movie called Lion with Dev Patel. And it was so good. It was about essentially a street child, an Indian boy who ends up becoming a street child because he loses his brother at a train station and how he has to survive on the streets. And then ultimately how he goes on and gets adopted by a family. But he ends up going back to find his mother, his mom, where he actually got separated from his mom. Anyway, I don't want to spoil the movie for any of you, but it's an amazing movie it's a tearjerker because you go and you see the plight and the poverty that does exist in India and really the plight of, many, many children. And at the end, because it's based on a true story, at the end they give this little line where it says over 80,000 street children in India. It's like a problem. Every single year, 1 year, 80,000 children are on the streets. That's a staggering number. Okay? And so I can't even fathom it. It just feels so heavy to me to have a number like that. Anyway. And so we were talking about it, and my dad yesterday said, well, you have to take into consideration the population of India, which is, I'm not sure, but I think it's 2, maybe 2.5 billion people. The Indian subcontinent makes up a large part of the population of the world. There's just so many people. So he said, you have to look at it in that context, and 80,000, versus 2 billion. And yes, he wasn't saying it with he wasn't slighting what was going on. He wasn't making light of the issue. He was saying, just put things into perspective. And so on one side, I understood what he was saying. And I genuinely agreed with him that you have to look at like what's going on with the larger whole. But the second part of me just thought, no, I don't want perspective. Perspective is what allows us to sit back and say, yeah, it's a statistic, but it's a normal sized statistic given the population of India. And perspective has never helped me. I mean, yes, it helps at times when when you need to pull back and sort of get the larger picture of things, but perspective for me doesn't allow me to act. It doesn't allow me to serve. It doesn't allow me to take that real true feeling that in the moment of, this is an unacceptable thing that's going on. This is unacceptable on so many levels, that there's 80,000 children a year. I mean, if there's 50 kids a year and Of course there are. In the States there are. There's 50 kids a year that are homeless. That, to me, is an unacceptable statistic. So it might sound dramatic. It might sound a bit extreme. It might sound any of these words that aren't perspective. They don't have perspective, right? If I think that 50 kids on the street are, that's an unacceptable statistic. That doesn't sound like perspective. That sounds a little crazy. And so I agreed with him in that moment. And then I basically said to him, well, I also think that this kind of thinking, like just saying it's about 2 billion people and there's 80,000, so that's sort of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And so I just sort of pushed back a little bit. And what I want to say about things that soul suppression is often that it is pushing. It is pushing because your soul doesn't seek to be nice. Your soul doesn't seek to be polite. Your soul doesn't seek to be proper. Your soul doesn't necessarily also seek to be chaotic. All the sun just disappeared. All of it. So all the light angles, gone. All the setting up for this, gone. It's okay. Your soul doesn't also seek to be extreme or chaotic or confrontational, but your soul just wants what it wants, needs what it needs. And in that moment, I felt the need to be self-expressed. Self-expression is one of the key things that I'm going to be talking to you guys about forever, 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 ever, forever, ever. Because it is the thing that is, for me, has been the crux of what has allowed freedom and creativity and relief and contentment when you are expressing your soul. So I just gave you one little example over dinner that we had yesterday, but there's many, many moments in my life where I feel that, where I have to say no to someone that, they're offering something that's not that bad. Hey, let's go out to do this, but it's just not aligned with what I want, what feels good inside for me. There's a lot of opportunities that might be, on the surface level, great for me to pursue, but they just are not aligned with my soul. And so most importantly, the reason I'm recording this video is that moment when you, reader, listener, human on the other end, are feeling a moment of suppression. Okay, I'm in a leadership program called Landmark, where they say whenever you feel a loss of freedom, self-expression, or power, you acknowledge it. And that's been a pretty powerful exercise for me because when you don't acknowledge it, you shut down. I shut down. You tend to be less confident. You start to feel a little bit maybe bad or shameful about yourself. And that's not a way to live. Who wants to live like that? I don't. Whenever I live like that, I feel so claustrophobic and terrible. And after a while, you really start to reinforce that you're not a powerful, self-expressed, truthful person who can give yourself what you need. And that's not the truth. The truth is you can, except it requires a little bit of courage muscle. Zero muscle there, zero, but lots of muscle here, okay? So my exercise to you, my sort of invitation to you is when you start to feel these moments, ding, 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 I could say that to her. Ooh, I don't really like that. I feel like I should say no. I didn't really like the way he said that to me. Let me say something. You don't have to go like balls to the walls, being confrontational all the time. It could be a very, very small thing that says, I don't really agree with that. And that in and of itself is alone to start the process of not suppressing your soul, of feeling fully self-expressed. This does not happen overnight, guys. It takes a long time. It takes a long time, and it takes practice. It takes courage. And you don't have to literally like blow trumpets, right? You just have to one step by one step say, what didn't feel right about that interaction? And you'll know. You know when you leave an interaction and you're like, ooh, I wish I said that. Or I wish I wish I said that. That's good enough. So that's my invitation for you today. That was really important for me to express to you. And try it on. Try it on, okay? And I'm starting these YouTube videos again after a long time. So, I guess my other invitation for you is every time I put out a video, I want you to hear it. I want you to watch it, rather, because I only talk about the things that I feel have been most impactful and important in my life in making me happier, healthier, more fully self-expressed. I love my life. It takes something to get there. So if you want to hear about how I do it, if you will indulge me, if it is useful to you, hit subscribe somewhere here. I don't know. I'm not so well versed as to know how to do that yet, but hit subscribe. Also, share it, okay? If you are the person in your life who is constantly upping your own game, you can be that person to help others do that. I mean, every single day, I'm either forwarding or sending someone or sharing with someone something that has made a difference in my life. Be that person in your lover's life, in your best friend's life, in your family's life. Be that person, okay? You get something from it. I mean, you just become a different person by doing that. So share it. Share it, share it, share it, share it. I think those are all. That's all I want you to do is help, stop suppressing your soul. Subscribe. Oh, like or whatever. No, that's Facebook. Woo! That's Facebook. Don't do that here. And leave me a comment because I will maybe address your question or comment in another video or answer it somehow. Okay. I like doing videos. Thank you for watching. They'll get better. I promise. Okay? Thanks. Have a good day, and I'll check in soon. Bye.